Hello, all you wonderful people out there. This is Ken Kulinowski. I'm the author of Anthem to Hope. And with me today is Mike Richard, who is very experienced and knowledgeable about Poland, especially the Krakow area, which is the setting for a lot of the book. And I'm going to ask Mike to talk about his observation about the Polish women, including one of the characters in my book, who's named Danuta Ranska. Mike?
Yeah, thanks, Ken. Leading up to this, how I came to this eureka moment about the Polish women. I'm a convert to Catholicism, and I was very formed by writings in the life of John Paul II, as many people were. And so I had a chance to go over there. I retired the year he died, and my son and I traveled to Poland. And I became acquainted with many Polish people and started returning every year for extended periods of time, and staying with families I met over there and things like that. And there was just something that puzzled me, and that was how Poland could be so unique to get through the war with faith intact and through all the trials of communism and so forth. And I had the idea that people like John Paul II and Cardinal Wyszynski and other leaders were the difference, because you looked in other countries like other countries around, they didn't have that same success. The communists wanted to destroy the faith. They killed the priests and sent them off to the gulags. But in Poland, there was always somebody to take their place, and they couldn't seem to do it there. And I just came to the point then that I realized it's the Polish people and their culture and the network that they have, and underlying all that was the Polish women. And also I became interested in the history there, and I know that for the time that they call the time on the cross, 120 some years, when Poland was not on the maps, but it was occupied by the three great powers of Europe at the time. Two of the powers, the Germans and the Russians, at various times tried to stamp out the Polish culture, to destroy it, to discourage the use of Polish language, and they wanted to send the kids off to day school and stuff. And it came that the grandmothers, the babcias, would intervene, and they would become the daycare, and they would teach the culture to the grandchildren. So I kind of call this a babcia network. The men were getting killed. The men were sent to prison. The women all seemed to know what was going on, and they would link with each other. Somebody needs food. Somebody needs some clothing. Somebody's husband's in prison. They need prayers, whatever it might be. The women seem to connect, and they still do that today. And so when I read your book, Ken, and the character of Danuta and her Jewish friend Miriam, how Miriam approached Danuta to take her child. And by the way, this was a lot more common than is thought, that Jewish children were rescued by Catholic families there in Poland. But this was, to me, very much on the mark of how things happened. It wouldn't be that a priest would stand on high and say, look, take this child, she needs help or something. It was through the women. Even now, I think the Polish women have a unique character and relationship. I remember I was studying language, and I'm on the tram and the bus in Poland, and I turned to the woman next to me and said, "Jak si masz?" And she said, "You must be an American." And I said, "Why do you say that?" She says, "Because Polish women, you don't ask a Polish woman how she's doing unless you want to hear her story." I laughed about this, but I went to class from there, and I asked my instructor about that. She says, "Yes, it's true." She says, "A Polish woman, if they get together, they haven't seen each other for years, and they'll take up the same conversation. He's still got an alcohol problem," or whatever it is. So, it's very true, true to life. So anyway, that's, I think the grandmothers, the mothers, the wives of Poland are very strong, and have a unique bond that I've never seen anywhere else. I've traveled in about 18 countries over there now, and stayed with families in other places as well. But no place really compares with Poland, and especially Krakow. So I really appreciate your book, Ken, and I think you've really picked up on the characters. That's the part I really like. It really tells a story from the point of view of the people involved, and I just enjoyed every minute of reading it. So I hope people will pick it up and give it a shot.
And you know, Mike, thank you for that. And I'm hoping that people will pick up on the fact that you are very, very familiar with the countryside around Krakow, and that you do take tours there on a pretty regular basis. I would encourage anybody to take advantage of that, because you'd be talking with and dealing with somebody who's an expert on the topic. Just to comment a little bit about what Mike said about women. It's often been said that women are the stronger of the species, the strongest part of the species. And, you know, in the book, it comes out very, very strongly. The wife of the Holocaust survivor is herself a Holocaust survivor, and she is strong, but she's strong in the background. But the major protagonist in the book relies on her for just about everything. And that proves what you just said here about the women, and people like Danuta, who's the main character in Poland. And so I encourage everybody to consider picking up a copy of it. It's a story about hope. It's a story about fulfillment. It's a story about someone's dedicating his life to fulfilling the promise of the people who never quite had that opportunity in life because they were exterminated. I think you would find it to be a very good, compelling read, and hopefully you would get some of the same impressions that Mike got from that. Thank you.